talk to you about the AI regulations put in place by the European Union and really a little bit of background on that. And we're going to get into what it is and why it's important for you to be thinking about it. So, this first went into place 2 years ago, almost coming up on the 2 year anniversary. There are 127 articles in this regulation, so it's fairly comprehensive. They were clearly fairly forward thinking when they thought about it. And it's interesting because it does not apply to just the EU, but it reaches outside the EU, as actually many regulations that the EU has put in place do. And like maybe give us just a little bit about kind of inception and how it came about and how things have been going in terms of regulating and enforcing it.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. I think the regulation or the regulators have very obviously increased their interest in a lot of financial service dealings ever since 2008. And they were before that, so the PRA, EBA, FCA, they've all increased the legislation they're putting out there. And they tend to do it in a similar way, which is they tend to inform that it's going to come. They'll tend to put it in place like they have with this a couple of years ago. No one really paid a lot of attention at that point. And slowly over a period of a few years, they increase the likelihood that they're going to enforce it. So, although, like you rightly said, this has been in place and being discussed since 2024, it came in a bit more stringently in 2025. But in August 2026 this year, it starts being kind of something that they're going to audit for. So they're going to actually go look at firms and see if they've actually adhered to the regulation. And like I said, that's standard practice and standard MO for what regulators do around.
Takes a couple of years to kind of understand how best to enforce
Yeah.
and be practical with it.
And whereas we as a business timed Brooklyn Solutions to launch pretty much when the EBA material outsourcing regulation came in about how you need to look at your critical suppliers and the things you need to go through.
Yeah.
And that was extended to the PRA and then DORA. They all went in the same kind of way. We all expected it, but as it seems like people are getting more excited now about DORA and
Yeah.
more excited about the EBA and the PRA regulations on outsourcing over the last couple of years. So it does lag a little bit, and we expect this one to be no different. I think difference. I heard you talk yesterday about AI, and just going back to the introductions, I think we could have flip-flapped this, right, and either one could have been
Yeah.
interviewed the AI person, and especially around AI. And in my career, I've dealt with a lot of innovative tech, fast-moving tech, emerging technology, and the pace at which these things come and the waves that are adopted they get faster and faster and closer together. But what's interesting is back to the specialist point. You feel a bit of a farce sitting here that go, I'm a specialist around AI, and I'm a specialist around AI regulation, when it seems like only 5 minutes ago, ChatGPT was dropped like in late 2022, 2023.
Such a good point.
It's a calculation on the way in, right? It's like they say there's that thing that you need to spend 10,000 hours to be a master at something, right? There's that saying that they kind of
Right.
doesn't always apply. But if you looked at 10,000 hours as a 9 to 5 job since ChatGPT dropped, you wouldn't be a master until 2029, right? So
That isn't actually all of that different than kind of any other regulation in terms of being able to show evidence of how things were done and
yeah,
who did it and when it was done and all of
good
that.
practice.
Yeah.
Apply best practice, find a good practice, show that you're thinking about it.